This is Nick.
And this is Chuck. What's up, people?
Yeah, this is Nick and Chuck Report. We was coming in today to speak on Gucci Mane, his new book that's released out, and we just want to give our point of view on it and all his success over the years since no one really giving him the props he should be given. He came a long way.
Yes, so this is the book right here.
Gucci Mane,
It's
Gucci.
it's titled The Autobiography of Gucci Mane. I would recommend it. It's a real good read. It has every element of emotion you will look for. It has emotion, it has pain, it has success, failure, apprehension. It has everything in it. All the way from his earlier stages, struggling in Alabama and Georgia, to the successful Gucci Mane we see today. So I would recommend it for anybody who like good reads and who like self-help, motivational type books. This is the book to get.
Yes. I mean, even going back to his old songs and what is Snowman with
Yeah,
Jeezy and stuff, and I mean, he came a long ways. That's what I could say. A lot of people didn't give him his props with his success, even though the different activities that him being in jail and all that, but he's still a human being. We all make mistakes, but his success, I mean, you can't take success from no one. He did it and he did it with proudness and he's still relevant.
that's a fact. And the thing that drew me mostly to the book was when I first read the first few chapters. He has the typical um, backstory that we all have as a black man growing up in America. There are already restraints placed on us where we have to kind of always look over our shoulder and have to overcome obstacles and hurdles that other ethnic groups might not have to deal with. But early on, he sold drugs because he grew up in a broken home. His father was a coke addict and an alcoholic. His mother was a church going woman, but she had to deal with the struggle of raising uh, three boys, which is always difficult for a woman to do by herself. So
Yes.
Gucci Mane turned to the streets where he sold crack cocaine, and eventually he became what we call today ghetto superstars. And what he did was he used his ill-gotten gains to funnel his success in the hip hop industry. He also has stories about where he first met Big Meech. Big Meech, I'm quite sure you all know, he's the head of the Black
Yes.
Mafia family. Yeah, Big Meech is currently serving a 30-year sentence. Hold your head, Meech.
And we will give a review on him and updates.
Yeah, hold your head, Meech. And also, he has another story about his where he went to federal prison and he had to overcome that in itself because he was placed in USP, which is a United States Penitentiary. He was not placed in a regular minimum or low style facility. He was placed in a penitentiary, which means that he was in there with the likes of mob bosses, terrorists, um, you name it. The people that our society deems as the worst of the worst, they put him in there with those guys that he had to survive, and which he was also facing addiction at the same time. So he had to
Yes.
overcome his lean addiction, and he had to also look over his back and protect himself from these um, notorious criminals,
Exactly.
which I think is
Amazing.
amazing all in itself. And to see where he is right now, to
Today.
overcome all those obstacles is amazing.
And congratulations on you and your wife. I mean, I hope you be married for life.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a
you have a
beautiful
good
thing.
woman and she has a good man, and people must understand that these two individuals, no matter how y'all want to cut it, said they was meant to be together. And people look at it like he don't belong with her and she don't belong with him. And how many kids she got and this, that. Why y'all worrying
All
about how
that
many kids
nonsense.
somebody got? Or I mean, long as they happy and they good, they
And
always the miserable people.
speaking from Gucci Mane's own words, Keyshia Dior was with him through thick and thin.
And
She was with him when the whole industry turned their backs on him, when they isolated him, when he was dropped
yes,
from the label, when he was doing time in county jail, federal prison. He was facing 30 years. So he didn't know if he was going to even be back out on the streets. And she was there with him day to day. Day to day, she was there with him. She never turned her back on him. She never gave up on him. She was there with him through thick and thin. So anybody got to respect that.
for real. And she was there. She was able to hold his money down without most women have been on spun
And,
that.
and she flipped it for him.
She made his money like multiply and made sure he was good when he got back out there, be able to feed his kids and get on with his career and his life. So it's like he never left, and he still was dropping mixtapes.
When he went away to prison before his sentencing, he thought he was going to do 30 years because that's what the DA and the prosecution was trying to give him. He gave her, he gave Keyshia Dior, I'm sorry, all of his finances and told her to please do something with it. What she did with his finances was amazing because, like she said before, the average woman would have probably spent it or did something stupid with it and lost it. But what she did was
And ran
actually,
it off.
she actually invested the
Ran
money
my
for him.
blood twice.
She actually
Bull
invested the
crap.
money for him and flipped it. And when he did come home, he came home to a nest egg and something to look forward to, which is also very commendable on her part. I respect that.
For real. I mean, Gucci Man go back to 2005. I mean, with the Trap House, Trap
Yep.
House, yeah. And then his other album back, what else? 2009, The State versus,
Roderick Davis, yeah.
yeah.
That was a commercially successful album.
And then, his other album, Trap House 3.
Trap House 3, yep. This and another thing that often gets overlooked about Gucci
Oh,
Mane,
before that was, my
he
bad,
he has a tremendous
Trap
hustle.
God,
He has a tremendous hustle.
2012.
This guy puts out music like it's no tomorrow.
Mixtapes after mixtape. He was in jail dropping mixtapes.
And in his own words, he says, "Rapping is not a talent; it's a hustle." Which
Hustle
means
hard, boo. Hustle, hustle hard.
those who endure and keep going will ultimately be successful, as long as you never give up.
Don't give up. Never give up. I mean, you have to believe in yourself. Even if nobody else don't believe in you, if you got one person that believe in you, take that and run with it. Cause it's hard to even find a good friend these days. People don't do the things how it used to be back in the days. You got
Facts.
your neighbors feeding you and this, that. Right now, today you can't knock on your neighbor's door for a cup of water. They might spit in here. They ain't got no water. Or they may don't want to even try to help you these days. You have a flat tire, they'll ride right past you like they ain't see you.
That's true because the close knit community that we grew up knowing that each one teach one. It takes a village to raise a child.
That's true.
That mentality is no longer a part of our culture and our community. So when you do come across people who still believe in those values and who still stands on those principles, morals, and who has integrity like that, you got to respect that because that's not rare to find these days.
For real. I ain't named all his albums in order like I should, but I'm
He
just
he
looking at
he has a
man
lot of
got a lot of
albums,
albums.
a
Murder
lot.
Was the Case in 2009. Trap House 5, The Final 2015. I mean, he really did it.
Yeah, he has a lot of albums. So that also shows. That's why I also said that I kind of put this book as a self help book because it also shows that if you're consistent enough and persistent enough, you will be rewarded.
Want it.
So with that in a nutshell, that's pretty much the book review. If you don't have it, go out and get it. If you didn't read it,
Please
I
do.
recommend you
I
do because
mean,
it's a great read.
don't try to borrow somebody else's book. Get your own. Have it on your shelf. Is a book to have. I ain't gonna lie. It gave so much information, so much empire of business and the business mind. People look at him like he a psychopath or he bipolar and all that. With all that, he's a very educated dude, and you got to give a person they props when they still holding on and they came from where he came from to where he at now. You got to salute him. Salute to you, Gucci Mane. Keep your
Salute.
head up. And congratulations on you and your wife, Ka'ior. All right.
And if y'all have not done so yet, please subscribe.
Please
Click
do.
click the red button at the bottom. Peace.
Good day.